Plaintiff, Jada Moore, and her mother, Kanisha, say Jada moved in with her cousin, the defendant. And soon after, Jada discovered that the defendant is a known thief. Jada's suing her cousin for breach of contract and emotional distress. Defendant Jabria Thornton and her mother, Twyla, say after Jada and Jabria moved in together, Jada had her new boyfriend at the apartment every day, and Jada barely knew him. Jabria denies owing Jada for anything.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
All right, start with you.
All right, Your Honor. So originally at the end of July, I moved to Arkansas with Twyla and Jabria, my cousins. We were the best of friends and we wanted to pursue our nursing career together. It wasn't until I moved in with her until I realized who she really was. She admitted with her own mouth that she had stole from her job out of the register multiple times and she had got fired. She had stole from the mall and had a court case for that. And she had also stole her best friend's mother's credit card.
You didn't know anything about her? You didn't know anything about her?
No, I was never concerned about that though, because our relationship was better than that. So I didn't really think of that.
Go ahead.
All right. Following that, we ended up moving in together. We signed a year lease. I sent her $4,500 on August 31st for my half.
What was the agreement?
Half of the rent.
What was the agreement? The agreement.
There was no agreement. I just sent the $4,500 to her because we agreed to pay a year's worth of rent to the landlord.
Did you hear what you just said? You said there was no agreement. I just sent it because we agreed. So there was an agreement. The agreement was that you both sent $4,500, right?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. All right, let me hear from you, young lady.
Hi, yes. What she said, we are related, we are cousins, and we were the best of friends, but, you know, things just didn't happen that way. But we were close to the point where she moved from California to Arkansas, and we were living with my mom. And then that's when we decided to move into an apartment together. And so
she said you were a known thief. She said she knew. She just didn't think you would do it to her. That's what she said. She said, yeah. I said, didn't you know her before y'all moved in? Yeah, I know her. Yeah, but I just didn't think she would do it to me because she my cousin. She said, you're a known thief. Say you steal for everything not nailed down.
Okay, but we
That means yes. You don't want to. No, I'm messing with you. Man.
No,
go ahead.
No,
that's what he's saying. Are you a thief?
Oh well.
Are you a thief?
No.
You took too long to answer that. I'm with you now, man. She took too long to answer. She played with that question too long. Go ahead. So you all decided to move in together, and the agreement was what?
We agreed to pay both half $4,500 to our landlord to pay the rent up for a year.
Okay, up front. All right, and what happened, young lady?
Oh, Your Honor, I sent her the $4,500 because they didn't have any banks that I bank with from California available in Arkansas. And so I sent it to her to send to the landlord.
A known thief. A known thief.
Like I said, I didn't think that problem would occur.
Go ahead. You sent it to her.
We moved in on September 1st, and I then left on September 12th to visit my mother to gather more belongings to bring back to Arkansas. In that time span, there was no issues. We never had any problems. As you can see on page 17 and 18, our communication was great. I had even paid the water bill while I was in California. No issues. On October 5th, I received a message from Jabria saying that I was a disloyal.
That you what? I'm sorry. I didn't hear that part.
Disloyal.
What? Yeah, I still somehow I missed you, but that was September what?
That was October 5th.
October 5th, she said, gave you a rude message or something, you say?
Yeah, Your Honor, on page 20, if I may, on page 20, she provided a copy of the text where her cousin called her a disloyal. And that's kind of where the altercation began.
Okay. And what was that about? Why she call you that?
I wasn't sure. Also on that page, you can see I said I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't know that there was an issue.
You still don't?
Well, obviously there's an issue now. I still don't know what.
That's what I'm saying. You don't know the issue? You don't know it? Why don't you ask her? Well, what's the issue? She's a young lady.
Oh, so once we moved in, shortly after, like she basically had a guy that I didn't know. She barely knew. She hadn't been down here for that long, so she had just met him. And so she moved, basically, like had him there every day. And so that's when I was having conversations with her. I had 3 conversations with her, trying to explain to her why I was uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable because he was there every single day. We couldn't fully enjoy our apartment together. And he walked in on me half naked once. He walked around the house with his shirt off. He had a suitcase there. So I was trying to explain to her, like, I'm uncomfortable with him being here. And she just basically brushed it off. And then if you look on page 7 on the lease, it says that we're only supposed to have guests up there, guests for ourselves, only 48 hours, 2 days. And he was there longer than that up until they both went to California together.
Right. And so, you discussed this with her when? When did you first bring this up?
Before she went to California, while he was there. I had been discussing with her,
she left him there in the house?
Yeah.
While she was gone, he spent the nights in there?
No. They went to California together. But I'm saying, while he was still present, in the house, and I have been discussing with her, I'm uncomfortable with him being.
And what
here
would she say?
She would just basically brush it off oh, he's just visiting. Oh, he's just going to leave when, we come back from California. She was just brushing it.
So how did the confrontation start? What was that about on October 5th?
I found out that she had been talking to an ex-friend of mine, and I haven't spoken to her in months. So the problem arose when I was getting calls and texts from.
We're not doing this kitty stuff, y'all. Save it. Y'all talk to your mothers about that. Let's get back to you letting these 20-year-olds move into the house and they mess up over talking about
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes?
Your Honor, if I may. Jada's mom and I, we are first cousins, and we both encouraged the girls not to move because they both were there living with me to pursue their career in nursing, but they wanted to spread their wings and fly.
Yeah, and now they have you here.
Your Honor.
Flew right to
Your
court.
Honor, if I may interrupt, we were aware that we could stay with her, but Jabri and her mother had gotten into an altercation, and she was persistent to.
Can I ask you about you moving in a third person, and did she agree to that? And did you adjust the rent accordingly?
No, I never moved him in. We had a discussion, me, her, and the boy. And at the time, it wasn't a boy that I barely knew. It was my boyfriend. And I made it clear to her that, hey, he's staying here only for a few nights because his living environment right now is unstable.
Okay, how many nights did he stay? How many nights did he stay?
He stayed for about 4 nights.
Okay. Give me a time frame. About first week of October, after what?
No, it was the first week of September. So we moved in on September 1st. He stayed there for
to the 5th.
Yeah. So he had stayed there prior to me leaving to California.
Okay. And did she ever mention to you about him staying there too long?
So I overheard her talking to her mother that she, didn't like that he walked around with his shirt off.
Did he talk to you, ma'am? Did she say something to you? I
confronted her about the situation. I asked her because she didn't say it to me, but I heard that there was an issue. So I asked her, I let him go home or go wherever he needed to go. And I said, hey, I want to talk to you. I heard you saying that you didn't like that he was walking around with his shirt off. I don't want you to be uncomfortable. He's not going to stay here. But if we have an issue, just address it to me. I don't like that you're talking around me about it. We squashed it. There was no issue.
When was that? When was that? When?
That was September 8th.
All right. You all discussed it in September 8th. All right. And you told her that he would be leaving. Yes?
Your Honor, if I may, when my cousin Twyla and I met with the girls, Jabria indicated that Jada, her boyfriend, and her had a discussion, and Jabria let them know that she didn't want him there, and they agreed that when Jada came back from California, that he wouldn't be there.
When you got back from the California, he left immediately, or what?
Yes.
Okay, and when you got back, pardon? Ma'am?
Jabria didn't have to see him. When we got back from California, Jabria didn't see the boyfriend at all.
Okay. All right. And
the reason why Jabria didn't see him there was because Kanisha had called me and asked me to not have Jabria there when they got there because the tension between the two girls.
Did he still live there or not?
I didn't see him.
She wasn't at the house when they came.
Yeah.
She stayed away from the house.
When did you move out?
I left for that day, yes.
Yes.
And when did you come back?
Kanisha, Jada's mom.
And when did you come back? I need to talk to the young ladies, ma'am. When did you come back?
I came back the next day.
Okay. And he was gone then. Let these girls handle their cases. They were grown enough to move out on y'all and disregard what y'all said. So let them be grown enough to handle their own lawsuits. They grown enough, not in mama. Yeah, they take mama, I ain't thinking about you, but then when they get sued, mama, can you come?
You're right.
All right, so with regard to the breach of contract, what did she do wrong? She abandoned the lease? Is that what you're saying happened?
So on October 5th, I also received a message from the landlord saying that Jabria wanted to leave. I said that I would assume the responsibility. I had no problem with that. Prior to me actually arriving to Arkansas on October 14th, Jabria changed her mind and said that she did not want to leave anymore. She wanted to stay. So I decided I would get off the lease because I don't want to live with anyone that doesn't want to live with me. Simple. Once I finally got to Arkansas on October 14th, we had the meeting with the landlord. She asked prior to me signing myself off the lease, Jabria, would you be able to give Jada her money back in full? She said yes. That's when I then signed the addendum. It wasn't until we got to the apartment after signing the addendum that Jabria was saying that she didn't know how she was going to pay me my money back, and she doesn't have a job, and they were pretty much saying, it's not my problem, I don't know what to tell you. That's when it got physical. We had an altercation. After that, our parents got involved. They separated us from each other. They left peacefully, and we were going to gather my things to move back to California. Later that night, Jabria and some of her family members came. She gave the key to one of her cousins to enter the home where me and my mother was. And my mother asked several times while she was pushing the door, while the other family member was trying to get in, Jabria, is that you? Jabria, is that you? She never responded. Then she finally said, open the door, you scary to hit my cousin. At that point, I knew that they were there to try to find me. So we called the police and we let them handle the matter. We left to California and we just said that we would take it to court.
All right. And at that time, when she was contemplating leaving October 14th, he wasn't living there because, correct? He wasn't living there October 14th.
Yeah, he was not there.
All right. And you all, the landlord say she should pay your money back.
She agreed, but she never gave me a time frame. She never said how she was going to pay it back. She brushed that off on how she was going to pay me back.
And that was October of 20 or October
14th, 2020.
What do you have to say about this agreement to repay?
We did meet with the landlord, and I feel like I don't owe her the $4,500 because she voluntarily signed herself off the lease. I didn't kick her off. The landlord didn't kick her off. So with that being said, like she and our landlord asked her, like, are you sure that you want off the lease? And she agreed to
But
yes.
She says that you agreed to pay her back. And she says in the company of the landlord you agreed to. Did you?
I would.
Pardon?
Huh?
Did you agree to pay her back?
I wouldn't agree to something that, to money that I don't have.
So the answer is no? So the answer is no? Oh, Is the answer no?
Yes, I'm sorry.
You said yes.
That's not true.
Is the answer no?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's not true.
All right. You have any evidence about agreeing, ma'am, young lady?
Yes, Your Honor, that is false. We even called, when we finally got back to the apartment, we called the landlord and said, Jabria.
Do you have any evidence? You all bring me all this evidence about your kitty arguments. I want to know about the contract you're suing about. Do you have any evidence regarding that? Not kitty arguments. All this, and y'all never text about her paying.
Yes, the landlord is the evidence. She can check in.
Where? Tell me where it's at, ma'am, in your...
I gave the number for the landlord.
Oh, you want us to call? Oh, that's not how this goes. We don't call to find. We don't call to help you prove your case. No, that's not how court goes. Nope, you have to bring all the proof that you have. And not only can you not prove it, you haven't given her a reasonable amount of time to pay you. Pardon?
So then the addendum here states that.
What page is that?
Page 4, sir.
Says what? Tell me what it says. Did you want me to know? Okay, I'm going to conclude, 1, you don't have the evidence to prove your case. 2, it's premature. She has not had a reasonable amount of time to pay you, even if she did agree. Have a good day. Your claim is dismissed. Good luck.
Thank you, will do. Thank you, Your Honor.